Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. One day after Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese became the talk of the NFL Combine, it's the DBs and the tight ends time to shine. Davison Igbinosun, Caleb Downs, Lorenzo Styles Jr., Will Kazmarek, and Max Clare will all participate in on-field workouts later today. Carnell Tate made his claim to be the number one wide receiver earlier this morning when he met with the media. Running back C.J. Donaldson will talk to the media in about a half hour. The Columbus Blue Jackets with an off day today. They're back on home ice tomorrow night hosting the New York Islanders at 6. Pre-game coverage here on The Fan begins at 5:30. The Ohio State men's basketball team will look to snap a 2-game losing streak Sunday when they host Purdue at 1:30. The Fan warm-up show comes your way at 12:30. This one brought to you by BMI Federal Credit Union, voted best credit union for the past 8 years in a row by CBUS Top Picks. Visit bmifcu.org to learn more.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner Funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
So where's the office, back at Division? Yeah, in the office, baby. Going out.
All right, here we go. Into the weekend with you, Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the Loose Cannon. Boys, good to see you.
What up, what up? It's good to see you, too. We made it to a Friday, man. Feeling good. Looking like next week, AR, some good temperatures coming in to Columbus. I know some of my friends are playing golf today.
Come on.
So, listen, man, a couple of the coaches up there at Ripple Baseball getting after it. Shout out to my guys, Cole and Ryan. They're out there on the track as we speak, getting it in. So, yeah, mid-50s, 60s on the way. Life is good. How you feeling? How you feeling?
I'm good, but I need roll with the golf ball. I can't have it just plug city out there.
You're used to
today.
that. I mean, that your irons onto the green, just sticking there right by the
They're going to
pin.
be this year.
That's your game.
They're going to be this year,
yeah,
baby.
I know a lot of people, man, that will play golf if it's 45, 50. You're not that guy.
No, the back doesn't usually work in that weather.
Yeah,
and like I said, it's the course itself. But I'm not going to deny anybody. They can say in February, they can check the box and say, I played golf. That's fine. I knew guys that like to do it, try to play once every month of the year, even in this climate. So here we are. Couldn't do that last month with all the snow, but I'm not going to deny anybody from getting out there and swinging it.
Yeah.
All right, we got a nice show for you today. We'll do some combine talk. We'll hit the mocks and all that good stuff and see if those shuffled around since last night. We will also have pressure cooker over and unders, obviously, this hour, and we'll kind of deep dive into the NFL and certainly the power rankings of the Big Ten that we talked about yesterday, the 10 that are projected to be 10-plus wins this year. And then in the final hour, Michael DeCourcy of the Sporting News and BTN, Fox Sports, he does their brackets, really want to zero in on the formula if there is one. Would it just take a massive upset over Purdue? Would they need a Purdue-Indiana combo platter to try to beat both and get in? Indiana's on the bubble, too. They've got a little more quad power resume-wise, but that was a bad loss they took against Northwestern, so that helped Ohio State out. But they're both on the bubble, and Indiana probably has maybe, like I said, a hair more in the tank as far as resume goes. But the game's going to be in Columbus, so Ohio State's going to feel like they got to win that one, but they got to get by Purdue first. Who, by the way, Purdue lost.
Which is not a good thing.
Which I was thinking the same thing, Matty. It probably isn't based on a team like that coming off a loss. And I was watching that game, and you never like to lose a game when you make 12 threes. That's
tough way to go out.
It's tough.
For sure.
And then the other part is when the other team is taking your turnovers and turning them into a lot of points, which the way Michigan State won that game, that's a bad combo. So you're right. Purdue would have gotten Ohio State's full attention regardless, but now they may be getting a team that, like, you're right. If Purdue smokes Michigan State and now they see Ohio State on their schedule, and even though it's here, they'd be like,
a little sleepy, maybe
a little bit.
Yeah. But the combination
Sunday, right?
of Smith and Rand, we know Fletcher, Lawyer, these guys, we've been watching them for a long time. So, watching that game, too, I was like, dang, man, you kind of wanted them to come in here with a nice little win against Sparty.
An easy win,
maybe
which you knew it wouldn't be. But.
You know, little lazy river vibes going on for the Boilermakers. That will not be the case, but, it will be interesting game to watch for sure on Sunday over there at the shop, because to say they're up against it is putting it lightly right now for Diebler and his crew.
You wanted them coming in off their Indiana game where they beat Indiana like by 30.
Mm-hmm.
That's the game you probably wanted them.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather play a team that, well, how would I put this? So I guess if you beat a team by 30, you're feeling really good about yourselves.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between coming off a loss and coming off a big win over a rival. I think the loss, there's so much more attention. There's so much more refocus. There's so much more urgency to getting it right. Yeah. Whereas the big win, that's the coach has to walk that tightrope. When his team wins big, he's got to find something to get on them about. Invent something to practice.
It depends on how your guys are wired, how mature they are. Like, that's a mature basketball team. So some teams like that can go out and absolutely curb stomp somebody and be like, we want some more. We want to keep this thing rolling. We want all the smoke with everybody. But I think because of that end result last night against Michigan State, you know how Painter's going to be locked in and having his guys ready to go, because they're trying to gear up for what they think is going to be a deep run in March Madness this year.
They know that Ohio State is desperate. That's the one. Purdue would always know. Either way, Purdue would have beaten Michigan State. They know they're facing a desperate team, and that's what Painter's going to be telling them, that they're as desperate as anybody now, being where they are. So that should be fun on Sunday. Might even go check that out.
Oh,
that
you on the flow?
That may be one to go check out.
So we'll probably be able to see you on TV somewhere.
No.
No, you're up there looking down on us.
No,
okay, there's no in between. TLC, there's no in between for our guy. Either on the floor behind the glass or up there looking down.
I fully expect to see Anthony Rothman lobbing the jump ball.
Very proud of you. That's very nice.
All right. Jackets was a fun game. Yeah. Wasn't fun, they lost. Yeah. The fun part of it was is that it was Corpy against Elvis. Like, that in itself to me was, speaking of being locked in, you kind of knew Corpy, Sean Corrali scores. Like, it's one of those.
It's not right how they did us last night, man.
Well, that's a good team that's fighting as well.
I'm talking about the former Jackets. Hey, take it easy on your former boys, man. Come on, man.
If anything, you want to stick it to them.
I get that. Yeah. I'm joking. But that did hurt me to watch a couple guys that used to suit it up over there nationwide have the nights that they had. It hurt me a little bit.
And I love Sean. I think he's a great guy and was a really hard-nosed player. And I really like Corpy. And there were times where I thought maybe they paid the wrong goalie. But Corpy came in last night. Marchie scored first. Mm-hmm. So they got up to a great start. And this was one of those games that I think a goalie made the difference. And Corpy at one time thought he was concussed and then came back in the game. And there was I saw a pretty weak slashing call on Marchment, but they killed that penalty off, so I don't have to complain about that. And Z played like 28 minutes, which is crazy. And Fance tied it with got to within one with 6 to go. It was a hard-fought game. I have really no real complaints other than you wish the result was a little different for the Jackets, because you go to the box score and you see how many shots they put on him.
Is that a 40-piece?
Yeah, I mean, this is
crazy.
They played well. I think that this was the case of you're playing a team that's really good at home, that's a good team in itself. Now, just on paper, you hope to beat a backup goalie that you think that's going to give you a little bit of an advantage. But as I said, Corpy locked in, man. He made some big saves. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is we were in the box too much, and we paid for it. So that's it. It puts all the pressure on this weekend's game against the Islanders. And this is what Lars told us a week ago. As great as 10-1 is, or 11-1, he sat in that chair right across from me and said, here's the tough part. You got to do it again. Again. Craig, blow the whistle. Again. That was it. And I think he's right about that. And that, because if you lose 2 or 3 in a row, you're 8 back or whatever, now you're done again. And it changes the entire mindset of what the big Don is probably thinking. Give me a reason to lean in. Or give me a reason to keep a retool going. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where they are. I also think it's going to be very interesting to follow Bones' handling of his goaltenders at this point, because he clearly likes Elvis, and it isn't fake. No. Elvis has responded. And why wouldn't, if you're a coach, why wouldn't you like a goalie who's at under Bones, he's probably been a 925 goalie.
He's been locked in, man.
Like, that's pretty incredible.
It's been really surprising to see how right out of the gate he's leaned into Elvis more than he has Jed, because out of the gate, when we started the season, that was a massive question mark. What is that going to look like? Who's going to be the guy? Is it going to be split down the middle? Slick Rick has come into this thing and clearly identified Elvis as the goalie he really believes in. I'll say this, though. The end result, obviously, is not what anybody wanted. But I did like, AR, that we're talking about another game to where they light up the lamp early and set the tone early in the game and get out in front of their opponent early in the game the way that they did. Because sometimes in sports, you come out of these long breaks, all-star break, whatever it may be, and guys just aren't locked in. I didn't feel that from the team. I didn't feel like it was a sloppy night from them, and we just haven't seen that since Rick Bowness has taken over. So that was good to see. But you brought up something that is a little bit unfortunate now, is that sometimes you're a team to where you have to play playoff hockey and have playoff focus when you're not even in the postseason just yet. And they've put themselves in a position to where they're going to be having to have that type of sharpness mentally night in and night out. And I'm not saying that they can't handle that, but because of where they are in the standings and where they kind of started the year and put themselves behind the 8 ball, that's what they're going to have to do now moving forward. And so the shot attempts were good. The second period, things kind of got a little dicey in my opinion. And then obviously we know what happened in the third and what the end result was, but still some good stuff out of the gate yesterday that I'm excited to see if they can continue that moving forward, because it's been a good trend for them.
You lose to the Islanders on Saturday, you're 8 back of them. And that's a game you got to have. Yeah. Now, I know they're still chasing that second wild card because it's a combination deal, but you lost to a team that was in that wild card race with you, and now you've got to beat this team. The house will be packed. Like, I think Saturday is going to be epic. I really do. It'll be Zach's first time at home since the Gold. It'll be urgent hockey. It's a weekend game.
You going back to back?
I don't know. We'll see.
Going jackets and hoops Saturday, Sunday?
Potential. It could be that kind of a weekend.
Okay, I see.
Here's the captain, Boone Jenner, on Corpy, facing him last night, what he was doing.
Yeah, obviously he was, really, really good tonight and making some key saves at key times. And, I thought we did a good job generating some really grade A chances, and he was there. So sometimes it goes like that. And like I said, yeah, he played great.
He did. Yep, he did. And the goal that made it 3-1 was an unfortunate bounce. It was Z trying to keep it in, and it deflects back, and then it's too late for Z and Sivo to get back. And that's when Corrali just short snapped one past Elvis, and that made it 3-1. And I know we fought back, and they got an empty netter to make it 4-2, but it was a good game. It was a hard-fought game. It was one that we've seen them come out on top before, but just not last night. And Corpy had some amazing saves. He's right. And he had a big one on Provorov early in the game, I remember. But this is where they are, so the urgency happens again. As we told you where they are in the standings, they're currently 6 points back of the team they'll play on Saturday, the Islanders. That'd be for third in the Metro, and the team they lost to last night, Boston, is now holding on to the second wild card at 71, so they're 6 back of them. So here we go. It starts now, and it has to start Saturday. All right, we're going to come back. The Combine champs. The Buckeyes won the night. We'll tell you what that means next. Rothman Ice and the Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
When it comes to trucks, dependability matters. At Germain Toyota, we know what it takes to earn your trust. Quality vehicles, straightforward pricing, and a team that puts you first. From the job site to the weekend, drive a truck built to go the distance. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
At St. Jude, every innovation we make is a moment we give to children with cancer everywhere. But we can't do it without you.
Learn more at stjude.org.
Working your way through that home projects list? More flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks for all your plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling needs. Call the Waterworks. Trusted and certified plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
I'll tell you what, life is simple. When you feel good, it makes everything better. Hey, it's Anthony, and you may laugh that I go on and on about my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store, but ever since I got them, it's changed my outlook completely. When I know every day my knees, back, hips are going to feel supported and aligned, it carries me to the finish line of my day. You know I sit enough doing the radio show. I want to be able to go out, walk, basically be on my feet without the pain I was feeling before. This has been such a great journey, knowing that my arch supports from the Good Feet store are not going to just wear out like everything I used to buy over the counter. And maybe the best part, I don't have to choose between what shoes I want to wear. My arch supports go with me. I pop them in any pair that I want to wear. And if you're like me and your lower back hurts, I fully recommend going in, taking the free test walk. You'll feel the difference. The Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway and Stringtown Road in Grove City and at goodfeet.com.
At Newman Roofing, we believe every detail matters, which is why we have over 1,000 five-star Google reviews from families all across Central Ohio who have put their trust in Newman Roofing for their roofing, siding, and gutter projects. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today.
Attention men, if you wake up and you feel like you got hit by a truck, if your waistband keeps creeping out, if your bedroom game is rated M for missing, you feel it, she notices it, and you're not alone. For many guys, this is ED and low testosterone. That's where Columbus Men's Clinic, powered by Men's Pro, comes in. We didn't copy men's health trends. We built a playbook since 2014. Labs in minutes, in-person care for better results, urology-backed science. A recent 54-year-old patient told us, I feel like I'm 30 again. He's crushing it at work and back in the gym, lifting like he did years ago. Oh, in his words, not mine, fun is back in the bedroom. I feel like a beast. Another guy said, they treated me like a person, not a patient. I wish I came in sooner. We have treatments that work for over 92% of men, even when the pills fail. And this month, when you start a treatment plan, your first month is on us. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400 or go to columbusmensclinic.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see partly sunny skies gradually becoming more and more sunny throughout the day. Breezy winds will help boost temperatures into the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. And then for tonight, mostly clear with overnight lows in the upper 30s. For Saturday, the mostly sunny skies continue with spring-like weather, with highs getting into the mid to upper 50s. So get outside and enjoy it. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
All the Ohio State conversation you can handle. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Your Ohio State flagship station. The Fan. There's nothing like ripping off your pants and enjoying some lobster bisque. This is Rothman and Ice.
Hey, I forgot to tell you guys that we'll help you get to a Jackets game.
Let's go.
So, back on the ice, chasing the playoffs. So, today you can win tickets to see them face Nashville on Tuesday night.
Okay.
So March is where we need meaningful playoff hockey. Get tickets at bluejackets.com. You're going to want to get in that building, but we'll send you there on Tuesday by just listening today and potentially answering some sort of a question. May not be a trivia question. Maybe something stupid we said. Most likely it will be.
Maybe you can run them through the movie ringer. You know what I mean? Just throw somebody on the air and we'll have you drop some quotes and then movie.
Here's the deal.
Movie? That's your thing.
I'm glad that you said this because yesterday I said I'm going to come up with like a 15-question movie sports trivia.
Okay.
And then when we have these giveaways, maybe we could do it as a caller. And you get one shot. Well, you can't really do that. Well, no. From a trivia, you can, because it's not a quote. Because a quote you could Google real fast. But a trivia question you probably couldn't Google real fast. Mm-hmm. And so we could do that, or I could ask a different question to each caller, and then the first one to get that one right would get it.
Let's run it. I'm here for it.
And I'm not going to, it wouldn't be that horribly difficult. It would be more of just observing stuff in movies. And it would just have to hit you. Like yesterday when I said, who did Hickory beat in the movie Hoosiers to win it all?
Okay, questions like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I gave you the guy's answer yesterday. You don't remember. I said the answer yesterday.
The Washington Generals.
No, that is incorrect. You do not get the tickets.
The Harlem Globetrotters.
They weren't here.
The
either.
N1 mixtape team.
Okay, you guys. Your first answer was the Monstars, and I said
the Spirit of St. Louis.
Oh, the Spirit of St. Louis, man. The arch, the gateway to the West. 60 stories, you and me. Can we go up, Dad? No. All right. The tickets. We'll do those later on today. Combine last night, as I was watching the Jackets during intermission, I went over to the Combine, and it was right when Sonny and Arvell were running the 40. And, Maddie, you probably have all the analytics in front of you, but they owned it last night. And I'm not telling you that the biggest, fastest, strongest guys always make it in the NFL. There are probably countless examples of guys that went over there that passed the look test, that were pretty fast, that didn't turn out to be great NFL players. Happens all the time. But you'd rather have it than not. You'd rather have it.
You ain't lying, man.
Because it's one of those things where, you know the old phrase, you can't win it early, but you can certainly lose it. You can't win the draft early in the Combine, but you certainly could lose it.
Yeah.
You can slide pretty quickly if your numbers are horrible.
For both Arvell and Sonny Styles, they put on a show and then some. And for Sonny specifically, look, he's Columbus guy, went to Pick Central, worked his way into the Ohio State facility, obviously, goes from safety to linebacker, puts together a hell of a season this year, and then you just go out there and you just have everybody kind of with their jaw dropped. Both those guys, Reese and Styles last night, but Sonny specifically, we can lock in on him for a second, because when you measure in at 6'5", 244, and then you go out there and have a vertical leap of 43.5 inches, and it's the highest vertical jump by any player 6'4" or taller, and any player weighing 240 or more at the Combine since 2003, that's eye-opening stuff right there. And that's just the vertical leap. Then he went out there, put his hand in the ground, and ran a 4.46 40. And so then you've got, NFL research pages and all that stuff saying that he's taller than Mike Evans. He's faster than George Pickens. He's quicker than Pat Peterson. And he jumps higher than Devontae Adams. And to your point off the top, what this does is confirm what everybody is watching on film when they're evaluating a prospect like this. It just pairs together so well, because he was a unbelievable tackler this past year. We weren't talking a lot about him missing a whole bunch of tackles, but that agility, the ability to jump the way that he does, and especially when you're talking about a linebacker on the second level, being able to get east to west, being able to get downhill. We saw last year, prior to him playing at the level that he did this year, that he could even get to the quarterback. I mean, he had 6 sacks 2 years ago. And so now he's putting that on display. So there's going to be defensive coordinators and head coaches salivating over what he did yesterday, but it just really completes this story here of who he was as a player. And if you're Sonny Styles, you kick your feet up, you keep crushing it in these meetings. I don't think you mess around with pro day at all. The work is done. The hay is in the barn. You stamped who they already thought you were.
Sonny did every drill he didn't have to do.
Yeah.
And he ran, you said a 4.46?
4.46. I think maybe another one was a 4.47 or something like that. So he was right there.
Consistent.
Just elite 40-yard dash.
You know what I wound up doing last night?
Yeah.
Was when I was watching this, I didn't have my eyes on the clock. I was watching to try to see in my mind, does he look fast or is he not? There are some guys that look slower but actually time pretty good. Like to your eyes, some of these guys look not as fast, but their time. It's their stride. It's the get off of the block. It's all of that. In football, as Urban always said, 4 to 6, A to B, all that. There's football fast. There's football instincts. There's track fast. I told you guys long ago about
how great you were in the 40 when you ran a 4.5 back in the day.
You know what? I'll tell you, I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
I was pretty fast.
Say it with your chest.
I was pretty fast.
I want to hear it.
But I was going to tell you about this guy, Ronaldo Nehemiah. Do you remember when I told you about him? You guys remember this name?
No.
Okay. So Ronaldo Nehemiah was a incredible track star. And he wound up going undrafted in the early 80s. He didn't get drafted, and he was just a track and field star. And he wound up going to the Niners and playing for a few years, and he was lightning. Like they thought, we got to have this speed. And it never really turned out to be everything they thought it would be. But it was a great story because back in the early 80s, he, playing for them, he was the first man to run. So he was ranked number 1 in the world for 4 straight years. He was a 110 hurdles guy. And so he's the first man to run the event in under 13 seconds. And from 82 to 85, before going back to track and field from 86 to 91, he went to play for the 49ers. And he never played in college. Never played college football. He worked out for them a handful of times. He worked out for a lot of teams, not just the Niners. And he signed with the Niners. And during his 3 years as a wide receiver, he caught 43 passes, 754 yards, 17.5 average, 4 touchdowns. And then a guy came along in 1985 that they said, we don't need you anymore. Who do you think that was?
You said at what position?
Wide receiver.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice. That's right.
Yep.
And they drafted Rice, and they said, thank you, Ronaldo.
Pack your bags.
Ronaldo, you were awesome.
Your Uber is ready.
Yeah. And this was maybe one of the fastest guys. It'd be like saying to Usain Bolt, can you catch a football? Like if we throw it to you, could you catch it?
It's not everything, man.
Can you put on the pads?
It's an important part of the equation, but it's not everything. I know TLC's got some sound from Field Yates on Sonny Styles and his breakdown of him as a prospect.
2 things about Sonny Styles I wanted to say. One, Mel, is if you just stacked him up against every safety in the league, he looks incredibly unique, right? I mean, maybe Kyle Hamilton is the only one who comes anywhere close to him body stature-wise. But if you stack him up versus other linebackers, he still looks unique. Like the fact that he looks like a cyborg as a linebacker and he was playing safety just 2 seasons ago in 2023 is pretty ridiculous for Sonny Styles, who, like Caleb Downs, who we mentioned earlier, another NFL legacy player is Sonny Styles. And the other thing, Mel, that I think is so important here is that last year, 2024, his first year playing full-time linebacker, was not buttoned up enough as a tackler. 17 missed tackles in 2024. That number dropped to 3 in 2025. He had one of the best. Actually, it might have just been, let me get my exact number here. Dropped it all the way down to, 2 missed tackles after 17 in 2024. So he was the 3rd best, at least using True Media's tackle percentage number, 3rd best in that category in all of the FBS last season. He has the skills, he has the length, he has the power. He put it all together.
He also, like you said, moved from slot safety to linebacker. Like there were position changes, and Ohio State had plenty of good dudes that could get after the quarterback. Mm-hmm. And so he is, and by the way, he's right. There were times where he took really bad angles and did get hurt. And the one I think I remember was against Corum, I think in one of the Michigan games.
Yeah.
And this was a learn on the fly, but he has a ceiling.
Put it all together.
Now, I don't think he passed Arvell last night.
In the 40?
No, I think in general, in mocks.
Oh, but I won't be surprised if Sonny goes top 5 now.
Yes.
And I was thinking about the Giants last night, especially Harbaugh, because now that Harbaugh's their head coach, you think about the linebackers he's coached up in his career. You don't think he was salivating thinking about Ray Lewis and Roquan Smith.
Perfect fit.
And C.J. Mosley and putting him in the middle of that defense. I don't know if that's an exact need for them right now, but you look at that defensive line that they have over there in Gotham City, and you drop, Sonny Styles in the middle of that defense. I'm just saying, Harbaugh, he loves having a really, really good second-level linebacker, and because there isn't a quarterback that people are really going to be coveting to come get, I won't be surprised if the Giants are looking at him as a real option for them at 5.
I just looked up their free. So Mike McFadden and Demetrius Flanagan-Falls is scheduled to hit free agency this month. So I would think that'd be a perfect guy.
Could be in play.
To add to Burns and Abdul Carter on the edge. And
so you got imagine him running around with those guys in front of him.
And they're going to get Neighbors back, right? Now, could they be tempted to go receiver to pair with
maybe so?
Dart?
100%.
Yes.
100%. But I think the guys that you brought up with that defense, you could really, because Harbaugh's that defensive-minded, special teams-minded type of head coach. Wouldn't be a bad pick.
All right, Benjamin Robinson grinding the mocks in 2 minutes. We'll see if he agrees that both of these guys now are top 5 guys. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
There's an old story about cat toys that's been retold for over 20 years because it perfectly explains who we are. This is Dennis Sullivan, president of Care Heating and Cooling. Years ago, a couple who shared their house with 3 cats had another company out to look at their furnace. After working on it, the technician said it was dangerous and had to be replaced. The couple called Care for a second opinion, and my dad Mike went out to help them. When he inspected the furnace, the cause of the problem became obvious. A cat toy had been stuffed into the heat exchanger. With the toy removed, the furnace ran perfectly. Now, how did the toy get there? You can decide for yourself. But here's what mattered then and still matters now. The first company paid commissions to their service techs to sell new furnaces. At Care, we pay our technicians to fix furnaces, not sell you a new one. And if a new furnace is needed, our team of replacement specialists will advise you on all options available and help you make your best choice. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, back at it. Buckeyes championed the Combine last night. Sonny and Arvell stealing the show. And a guy that's put together something really cool, the official home of Grinding the Mocks. And this is what we live for this time of year, predicting the NFL draft and seeing how close we can get. Certainly, he's batting pretty high of an average, and that's our guy, Benjamin Robinson, who's with us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fangist Hotline. All right, Ben, welcome to the program, my man.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, so you watched the way we watched last night. I guess the first question I would have for you is do you believe that Sonny Styles could have leapfrogged Arvell Reese last night in anybody's mind, or no?
I think probably no. I think, obviously Sonny had a really great day. No one's questioning that, although he didn't bench press, I think. So I think, if he really was going to leapfrog Arvell Reese, he would have to show a lot more strength. And so to me, one of the things you'd see in my data would be that if he was that big, he's kind of a superstar at that point, because he kind of looks a little bit more like he did when he was at Ohio State, where he played safety initially. So it kind of compares more to like a linebacker safety than like Arvell, who is like a linebacker edge. And so I'd be super surprised if he actually leapfrogged Arvell. Arvell still has a really high ceiling potentially with his combination of like off-ball linebacker and edge rusher skills. So to me, going to give Sonny all of his flowers, but to me, if he had bench press really good, you saw that big strength. I would say, hey, maybe that's in there too. But he probably didn't bench for a reason. That's probably not where his strength is. And so to me, Arvell's still the guy who has that big potential. And so, you might see some like very strong hot takes post-combine about Sonny Styles, but I still think Arvell is probably the bigger prospect.
Let's stay with Arvell and kind of the guys he's competing with right now to potentially be the number one edge rusher off the board. When you look at Bain and you look at Bailey, of those three, I guess you rank them for me, if you will. Like, who is your top pass rusher right now on your board when you look at these prospects?
So Grinding the Mocks aggregates, thousands of mock drafts every year to kind of get the sort of consensus of what the draft public is thinking. And coming into the combine, so as of last week, Arvell Reese was my second overall ranked player. David Bailey, comes close behind. So the way that I would currently stack the edge rushers would be Arvell Reese, if you classify him as an edge rusher, would be my top edge rusher. And then after that would be Ruben Bain, followed closely by David Bailey. I think after the combine, you're going to see Bailey leapfrog Bain, just because that's the way it's been trending. I think people are kind of going to come around to Bailey being less of like the pure pass rusher that people might want versus Bain. And so, but yeah, to me, Reese is still stacked really high. But to me, if he's just going to be a linebacker, then I think there's a decent chance that Bailey would be the one who would be the favorite at pick number 2. But I think Reese's big competition is not Ruben Bain, it's David Bailey.
I like that answer because I'm with you. I think that will be it because Aaron Glenn taking over the defensive play calling. Bailey gets after the quarterback. But I'll tell you, Arvell has been not just selling it, he's been proving it that he can get after the quarterback and not just be an off-the-ball linebacker, but be an edge rusher and get after it. Do you think that his only full starter year being one season at Ohio State would hold anybody back?
I think not. The NFL draft is not just about production. It's about projection. And so to me, there are some players who are a little less projectable than others. And so to me, Reese would project as an edge rusher. And it's really great to hear him say that he wants it. I didn't see that last year, for example, with, players that he might be compared to, like Jalen Walker from Georgia, who ended up getting drafted by the Falcons, and Jahad Campbell, the linebacker from Alabama, who ended up getting drafted by the Eagles. I don't really think I ever heard from them saying like, oh yeah, I really want to be an edge rusher. Arvell really wants to be an edge rusher, which I think is good business for him. The good news is that if the Jets aren't as interested in him as a projection, then, to me, the teams that are be right behind them for his services are, teams that are picking really high, like the Titans or even the Cardinals. So I think his ceiling is at 2, but his floor is probably still top 5. So Arvell is really, really well regarded by scouts and by teams.
Let's get your thoughts on what the Browns maybe should do at number 6. There's a vibe out there that, between their 2 first-round picks that they're going to lock in on a wide receiver and an offense of linemen. But let's live in a world right now to where they do want to pick a wide receiver at 6. Among the top guys right now, whether it's Carnell Tate or Tyson or Lemon or maybe somebody else you like, who do you believe would be a good selection at 6 if they do want to grab a wide receiver there?
Yeah, I think need would dictate that they go after an offensive tackle, which is a shame because, in the draft last year, they had a really strong tackle prospect in Armand Bembu right in front of them. So, but if putting that aside, if they decide that, the offensive linemen in this class are not really up to snuff for the kind of pick selection they have, I think Carnell Tate is definitely the option to go with. I think he's going to separate himself as the number 1 wide receiver in this class after the combine. And so to me, when I see the kinds of players the kind of teams that Tate is connected to, it's, the Giants, the Browns, and the Titans are the top teams that are mocked to him in my Grinding the Mocks database. And when you look at some of the other players, it's teams that are picking way later in the top 10 than the Browns. And so to me, Tate is the big favorite right now to go number 1. If they decided to go with a receiver at their second overall pick in this first round, I think they'd probably be looking more at a guy like Washington wide receiver Denzel Boston, who I think is an up-and-comer and is going to do all the workouts and drills at the combine this weekend, while Tate, who is taking a much more risk-averse stance, isn't going to do all the drills because he's kind of probably more assured by his representation and by sources in the league that he should be the number 1 overall wide receiver.
Yeah, and he's got fantastic tape, that's for sure. We are talking with Benjamin Robinson, Grinding the Mocks creator here on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, the other intriguing one for us, Ben, would be Caleb Downs. And we just talked about John Harbaugh and all the times and great success he had with Ed Reed and Kyle Hamilton and whether he would be tempted to go that route. I know safety that high is not usually something that happens, but he is so versatile. What's Caleb's window in your mocks?
So in my weighted mock draft shares that you can find on grindingthemocks.com, the top teams that Caleb Downs, who's the number 7th overall ranked player in my database right now, are the Bengals, the Commanders, and the Giants. So to me, the Giants seem to be like potentially his ceiling, given kind of some of the things that you said. John Harbaugh probably has a lot more decision-making power in the current leadership structure with the Giants than he did during his time at the Ravens, where Eric DeCosta was really the one running the show, and before him, Ozzie Newsome. So some really strong personnel executives. It seems like Joe Shane's kind of been sidelined a little bit in that leadership structure. So that's something where he really wants to put his stamp on things with a defensive pick. I think Downs would be really solid in there, but I think more likely than not, right now, my data is pointing to the Bengals or Washington to be kind of where he tends to be paired the most. I will say in the past, some highly regarded safeties tend to fall. So you saw Derwin James when 2018, he fell a bit, and I think people just weren't seeing safety as that premium position they wanted to invest in. And even Kyle Hamilton kind of went a little bit later than I think people thought. And so the question is Caleb Downs that good of a prospect at that position where, you're taking him that high, you're going to be paying him already a top 10 safety when he's a rookie. And so it's just a lot harder to return value on that type of contract. And so I would think that there are some teams who want him enough. And, the Bengals, I'm from Cincinnati. They've really struck out a ton in free agency in recent years, trying to take that more of a value laden approach. And so I think Cincinnati is definitely would be huge. I think the fans would love having Caleb Downs, even if it's kind of questionable from a positional value perspective.
Anything on defense in Cincinnati might be viewed as a great move for the Bengals. Ben, good to have you on, man. Grinding the Mocks. We'll be looking at it. Great site. Continued great success. We'll have you back soon. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And, I can definitely talk about a ton of other players as well, because Ohio State, is very well represented, and potentially 5 guys in the first round and maybe even 7 guys in the top 100.
Book it, man. We'll have you back. We appreciate you. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, too.
Benjamin Robinson, Grinding the Mocks. He was the creator, is the creator, and was with us on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, overs and unders into the weekend coming up next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're known for 3 things: games, conversation, and common man yelling about things only he cares about. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Remember the old days when football used to have an off-season? Well, we at the Fan think that really sucked. That's why we bring you Austin and Berm, America's #1 resource for Buckeye football conversation, is voted by Fake Surveys Incorporated. Catch their daily podcast called The Beat and their breaking news podcast, Snap Judgments, as they broadcast live from Roosters on Mondays, and they come right to your house and massage your tender areas. They'll do it all. Austin and Berm on the Fan's YouTube channel and 10 TV+.
Hey there, friends. It's Bo Bishop here. You've heard me talk about High Bank's award-winning spirits, but let's talk about the food. High Bank delivers incredible meals and handcrafted cocktails in a space that works for every part of your week. Start with happy hour, drinks with friends, come back for brunch worth planning your weekend around, then stay for dinner. And get this, kids eat half off every Monday. Great food, award-winning drinks, a reason to come back time and time again. Make a reservation today at a location near you at highbankco.com. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan, or thepeople.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
The rings, the moment, the forever. Make it unforgettable. Join us February 27th and 28th for Diamond Seller's Wedding Weekend. Enjoy preferred bridal pricing on wedding bands and engagement rings now up to 30% off. Visit Diamond Seller on Selma Road or at Easton Town Center.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
For the past 100 years, Shriners Children's has become family to over 1.5 million kids.
In tough times and good times, they're there when we need them most.
Please go online right now to loveshriners.org.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Enough already.
We can do more.
Enough already. We can find a cure.
Enough already.
We can do better for our kids.
Enough already. We are relying on you.
We can come together to support Children's Cancer Research Fund, a national nonprofit dedicated to ending childhood cancer that is on the front line of breakthroughs. Because
it's enough already.
Go to childrenscancer.org today.
The Jackets are back in Nationwide for a battle with the Islanders. Live fan coverage starts Saturday at 5:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice presents Overs and Unders.
Sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, TLC, I got one for you and for Maddie before we start. Over under a half on coaches that will fall asleep at the combine. Did you guys see the video of Aaron Glenn?
I don't think he was officially asleep. I think that he was just fighting it.
There's 100% that for 2 or 3 seconds he was in the netherworld, man. He was. And I think either he recognized it or somebody. Well, nobody really elbowed him. But there was a time when he does one of these. So if you're watching on YouTube, this would be one of those things. This would be Aaron Glenn was like kind of like this, kind of eyes half open. And I think he was doing the hand as the armrest. All right. So he's got that going for him. So you're already if you're already propping up your head like a bowling ball, like you need that support, like fist on the cheek. He did one of these. He reacted too fast. I'm with you that he wasn't sleeping if he would have just kind of slowly cracked the eyelids again. But his reaction was so, like if you were in class and you nod off, Bobby used to do this all the time really well, not literally.
During the radio show while you were talking?
He'd go like this. He'd kind of go one of these and then he'd go. The head would slowly fall and then he'd go like one of those.
You feel that weight. Yeah, the weight wakes you up.
And that was it.
Sure.
And I think that was Aaron Glenn. I think he was asleep for about 3 seconds.
So we'll hit the over then. We've already hit the over then. Because I think he was asleep too. And maybe it was a a whistle or something that woke him up, a coach down there yelling or something. Like, I honestly think that's what woke him up. Somebody speaking over the speakers in the building or something like that. Because
you're right.
It's gone viral now, and he definitely looks like he was asleep to me.
Well, people think that he saw himself on TV. Now, if you saw the camera angle, there's a TV behind him, so he wasn't looking at that TV.
Right.
But you could see that the NFL Network was on the TV behind him, so maybe he was within eye shot of another TV that had NFL Network.
Could it have been on the Tron, maybe? Were they running it live on the Tron?
Maybe. That would have been crazy.
I'm with you. That did happen. I'm with you, TLC. I think...
Who is that?
It's not important. So he starts
to let Jordan Love suck me in.
He starts to rock a little. There's a little motion. You guys watch this? There's a little bit of this. There's a tiny bit, and then he cracks his eyes, and like Cole said, he spots himself on the monitor. And that's when
his eyes are closed, though.
No, when he cracks his eyelids. I'm saying he's moving like this. He's definitely nodded off. There's no question. He nodded off. It's okay.
Is it, though, when you're picking two overall? And you're the head coach.
David.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe not.
I mean, they're not only 2, they hold 2 and 16. Like, you're there to be, like,
we got to be locked in. That's what I'm saying.
So he's had a wonderful
draft picks as well.
Harry and Izzy, St. Elmo, dumbwaiter shrimp cocktail that was. So he nods off. He starts to rock your way to a better
School of Rock.
No. It's one of those fitness infomercials. Rock your way to a better. So he's rocking, and his eyelids crack open, and that's when he sees himself, and that's when you have that.
Your heart drops.
That's when he snaps back to attention.
Yeah, his heart
he
drops.
started like sitting up straight too,
because he knows as a head coach that's not the best look. Not the best look, but yeah, it's out there.
They did him
on
dirty.
Twitter. Check it out if you're interested.
That's not right. The way the NFL Network did him.
All right, TLC, what do you got cooked up, man?
All right, so I'm graduating from questions about snowfall.
You flunked out on that one.
Yeah, after I said over under half of a snow before St. Patrick's Day, and the next day it snowed, so that didn't work in my favor. So instead, we're talking about rain.
Okay.
All right, so Sunday to Sunday, meaning this upcoming Sunday through the next Sunday, which is technically 8 days, we are projected to get rain every single day. Mm-hmm. Now, not a ton of rain every day, but it is supposed to rain between midnight to midnight every single day, despite warm temperatures. So if it clears up a little bit, we could have some nice days outside, some good walking weather. So over under on how many days that we will see no rain whatsoever. 1.5.
Between this Sunday and the following Sunday.
Yes.
I'm going under, AR.
There will be one day in there where the high is 71 degrees.
You think we're only going to get one day of dry weather over the next 7 or 8 days?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds awful.
I'm kind of here for it, too. You know how I love a good rainy day. Our
cars will be clean, though.
I love a good rainy day.
Really?
I do. I love those.
He also loves a rainy night.
Just fall asleep to a thunderstorm?
I do, though. Those are my sleep sounds. I fire up my iPad, throw on the 24-hour rainstorm, and I have that loud as can be in my room every night. It'll put you right down. Put you down.
You got that plugged into a charger?
Yeah. Got to.
That electric bill's going up.
Somebody got my rainy night. Somebody old got it.
You hope.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm praying. They said he also loves.
You're self-aware.
Love a rainy night.
What is that from?
It's just a song. It's a song.
Well, what is
November
you gotta bring it home.
Eddie Rabbit. I love
Eddie who?
Rabbit.
It's not a movie
Eddie
character?
Rabbit?
It's a real person. And I assume that was
a one-hit wonder. Has to be.
Who is Eddie Rabbit?
No, I think he had more than one hit, but that was probably his biggest.
Eddie Rabbit?
Yeah. What's he up to? I'm going to say over on the 1.5. I think we're going to get some dry weather. I mean, for 2 days. Okay. And remember, these don't have to be back-to-back, right? This could be, okay.
I'll give you an 8-day window. I'm just saying all 8 days are projected to rain.
2 for 8 on dry.
Yeah.
Okay. Eddie Rabbit, TLC, born November 27th, 1941 in Brooklyn, passed away May 7th, 1998 in Nashville, Tennessee.
What's he up to? He died before I was born.
All right.
Edward Thomas Rabbit, American country music singer and songwriter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you love a rainy night, so that's why I brought it up.
I do.
How many Ohio baseball teams will make the playoffs this year under a half?
I'm going 2 for 2.
Whoa.
Going 2 for 2. Guards and Reds will see you in the postseason. Print those shirts.
Oh, no.
Set it on February 27th. Guards, Reds will see you in the postseason. Print the shirts.
There goes one over the fence. Oh, man, you say that?
Oh, Harry Carey. Oh, Harry Carey.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. We're getting in. So is Cleveland. We're getting in. Both getting in. See you at the dance.
Who do I like more, the Reds or the Guards?
All you need is one. I gave you a half.
Yeah.
Boy, they're both right there. I think I believe in your team a hair more. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's just something about getting
returning to the postseason.
Getting Suarez back. And
coming back for blood against the Dodgers. They don't want to see us.
Eugenio cleaning up in that park.
Keep talking.
All right. I'll go with Maddie's Reds, but I'm not going both. Both.
Be a little BOFF.
I don't. Yeah.
Both of them.
I'm going to try to get Suarez in fantasy. I know everybody else will, too.
Well, he might drop 50 on us this year. 50 dingers.
He had 49 last year, and now he's going back to GABP.
Great American Small
Add
Park.
another 10.
He'll have 59 hits, 50 of them for home runs.
And I'll take every one of them.
All right. Nice overs and unders today. We're going to come back top of the hour, and we'll hit you with this. Is Joe Burrow all in Cincinnati? Somebody believes he may not be. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If the sound of another man slammed against plexiglass turns you on, you've come to the right place. Proud to be your home for Jackets hockey. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
You got this. Breathe. You got this. You got this.
In the moments that truly matter, what do? Rise to the occasion. Ohio Health. It's time.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like an estate planner.
Per the contents of the will, all assets go to, what does that say? Ragu tataya yaminayat. Oh, I don't know. I was in a weird place when I wrote this.
This is your job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Hey, Aaron, what are those?
Those are what are known as toilets, Jerry.
I know they're toilets, but why are they sitting back to back like bookends?
Congratulations, Jerry. You said the magic word.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Bookends? Bookends is the magic word?
Take a seat, Jerry.
I choose this one.
A good choice. That is the world's most luxurious toilet.
Really? How much is it?
$6,500, including installation.
What? For $6,500, this thing would have to iron my shirts, shine my shoes, and sing happy birthday to me.
Get Eco.
ECO.
It does way more than that, Jerry.
I'm switching to the other one. How much is this one?
$650, including installation.
Wow, that's a great deal. What does it do?
It does exactly what you would expect, Jerry.
Huh. From $650 to $6,500. Eco has a toilet for everyone.
Give it away, plumbers, genius electricians, and you can always trust our HVAC technicians.
GetEco.com.
What does it mean to live here, serve here in the Ohio Army National Guard?
It means I can attend college full-time and not have to take out student loans to pay for my tuition.
It means I can work my civilian job during the week and support my state and nation in times of need.
You too can live here, serve here as a member of the Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with full-time benefits at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I. And then we. Brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence. We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine, and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum. Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried. Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at MDA.org today.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Ohio State baseball team down in Houston playing in the Bruce Bolt College Classic this weekend. They're currently taking on UTSA. After two, the Buckeyes led the Road Runners 2-1. The Ohio State softball team with a doubleheader later today in the Duke Invitational. They'll take on Northwestern at 3, then face Duke at 6. It's defensive back and tight end day at the NFL Combine. 5 former Buckeyes are scheduled to participate in on-field workouts led by Caleb Downs. The NFL announced today that the salary cap will jump $22 million for next season to $301.2 million per team. This one's sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better. Breaking sports news as it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Dog friendly. And if you ain't down with that, this is Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program. Pressure cooker this hour. And then grading your workplace. Man, I wish we would do this. I wish we would have an anonymous deal here. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll speak it into existence. Just follow the NFL.
Sure, Fish loves this idea back there. I'm sure he's like, you know what, let's run it.
All right, so what are the categories?
Well, we have several categories here. We'll do it at 1:30, but we have a cafeteria. We have facilities. We have
a head coach.
Yeah, we have a head coach. We have a general manager. We don't have we don't have a weight room. We have a game. We have a game. We have a game room.
There's a dumbbell right here.
Don't talk about yourself that way.
Curls all the time in here. So we got a mini weight room in here. We got a little nursery in the back. A little cot back there. You catch a little nap if you need it. You know, we got a little bit of this, a little bit of that going on. But I thought these NFL grades weren't happening anymore. These got leaked, apparently. Huh?
I think these were grandfathered in.
Sure, the owners.
I think
love
maybe
that.
moving forward.
I love that these came out because the owners have been crying about, oh my God, don't talk about our franchise like that. I don't want to hear it. I'm glad they got leaked. Can't wait to talk about them at 1:30.
It's also, how scientific is it really, right? You're always going to have disgruntled people or people that are just voting a certain way. But you're right. They do a pretty good sizable.
Yeah. It's just entertainment for me to just see how the players feel about their workplace.
We'll do that. How does Joey Burrow feel about his workplace? He's an interesting cat, man. He's a great talent. You know you can win it all with him if you put a decent defense on the field, if he stays healthy. And we talked about, even before he got drafted there, he was questioning whether he wanted to be there. And then when he got questioned about it, kind of walked it back a little bit because you're an Ohio boy, man. You got a chance to rewrite history with a franchise that hasn't won one. If he was able to deliver a Lombardi to Cincinnati, it would be massive. But his future is very odd to me in Cincinnati. Only because, and not because he wouldn't want to be there, it's because are they gonna make it great enough for him to want to be there and to finish his career there? He's 29. He missed most of the season with a turf toe. He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. I think the three of us believe he's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL.
Top 5 at worst.
Top 5 at worst. And when I say top 3, I mean top 3 with a future. So I'm taking out Stafford. So there's a difference between saying top 3, I need to win a game today, and top 3 that I want him for my future.
Who are you picking between the two if you had to win this Sunday? Stafford or Joey B?
Stafford. It's Burrow's probably not playing.
Well, assuming they're both
going on the hypothetical that they're both healthy. Probably taking the guy that's been there, done that in Stafford. Just dealing with that part, but it's splitting hairs. I wouldn't be mad with either one of them.
Which one would you rather had in the Super Bowl of 2020?
That no-look pass that Stafford made in that Super Bowl was pretty epic. And Burrow played great too. But Stafford changed his legacy. He did, for sure. His legacy was great talent, really good thrower, stat compiler, bad team. Yeah. That was his cemented legacy. Yeah. We never were going to really know how great Stafford was until he got traded.
He brought it home. He really did, because kind of the vibe in Detroit was maybe some of that empty calorie stats, right, when it doesn't equate to winning, but that absolutely has changed. And at this point in his career, for him to ball the way that he did and just getting the rock to Puka and Devontae all year long the way that he did, especially, and he's also one of those guys that it's not really going to hurt you with his legs. Like, I don't even know how many rushing yards he had this year. I like when we play that game sometimes with these pure pocket passing type of quarterbacks. But if I had to guess, Stafford didn't rack up more than 80 yards rushing this year. And I feel like I'm way high even guessing that.
May have gotten north of 50 if in the playoff, if you added playoffs too. Possibly.
Let me see something here.
Yeah, I don't know. While you're looking that up, I wanted to tell people that Burrow's under contract until 2029. And the Bengals are one of a dozen teams to have never won the Super Bowl. And it's one of those deals where, like I said, the history, it would be amazing if he could deliver that. Number 1 pick, led them to a Super Bowl in his second year, lost to a very good team in the Rams, and despite missing out on the playoffs for 3 straight years, Zach Taylor is last man standing there. And presumably Joe really likes him. So could Joe push himself out or play his way out of Cincinnati? I would not rule against that. I really wouldn't. And I don't know Joe that way. I wouldn't know whether that was something that's burning for him to say, I need to get back there. I need to win one, and I don't think I can do it here. I wouldn't know that, but there's talk, right?
There's a lot of talk. Paul Dehner from The Athletic does a really good job covering the Bengals. He was on the Growler podcast, and he's kind of taking us behind the scenes right now about the vibe around number 9 and maybe what could be around the corner.
Everyone walks on eggshells around Burrow, too. But all the fans are like, yes, everyone walk on eggshells. We think we have a better chance with this guy influencing decisions than the actual decision makers do.
Probably.
Right. And I think there's something to that. And he has. I mean, he's changed the way they've made decisions around here in recent years. And his lack of happiness, whether he says it was because he had a bad day at a press conference in December or not, has major influence inside of the building. And he called this free agency period paramount, because he knows, like everybody on earth with eyeballs knows, that they have to actually go get after this defense in free agency. But I think he's certainly done more than just lay the groundwork on, if I'm not happy here, I don't plan on staying here. And he gave next year and said, I'm good. Like they're all in. But it's like when I said in the beginning here, this being a pressure cooker year for the whole team, it's because Burrow kind of sets that temperature. Like, I'll give you this year. You better prove that you can put a team around me and we can win, because me and my buddies Jamar and T might not want to stick around for watching you guys, hobble through this thing and not be able to make anything work.
I mean, look, Paul is as dialed in as anybody down there. That could just be a willy-nilly opinion, his gut feeling. I don't think that's the case. I think Paul has a pretty decent feel on how those three guys feel, and especially Joe Burrow about where he's at right now. And he already kind of let us know where he was at this year with his lack of joy, non-happiness quotes that we were all reacting to. This feels to me like when you're in a relationship and somebody you're with starts to give you the clues that they're not happy, and then shortly after that, or maybe not shortly after that, but in time, the split happens. And I hope that's not the case for Bengal fans, but I don't know how I can look at the evidence that's starting to rack up and look at it any other way, whether it's coming from Joey B's mouth himself, whether it's coming from the public pressure that he's putting on the front office with things he's willing to say, or a guy like Paul Dehner throwing that strong quote out there about this may not be a long-term thing. If he starts to look around over the next year or two and think, what the heck am I doing here? And this franchise is not going to bring it all together, and I'm wasted the last portion of my prime years in Cincinnati.
Well, here's the good news. The good news is he's signed through 2029. So he's going to have to make the noise if he wants out. They're not, it's
already kind of a squeaky wheel.
It's a little bit. Listen, he made him sign. He get the money to Jamar. They've signed T. Let's bring Trey back. Gesicki. Like, he's got some power. I'm with you on that. The Bengals will try to sign him to an extension if he's healthy, probably in a year and a half. They try to get him on top of that. And by the way, you asked when are we going to know? That's when we'll know. Mm-hmm. When he decides, no, I don't want to sign another extension. Not yet. I want to play this out a little bit. Or he starts to make noise on wanting out before then. I don't see him playing his entire career in Cincinnati unless something turns around defensively. I really think this is it. I think this year, this is the one for Zach. This is the one for this offense. This is the one for that window. They got to show some improvement to make him believe he's in the right place.
Bottom line.
And if they do, then I could see this continuing. And I don't know how long he's going to play. He's one of those guys that's kind of on the fence on, you don't see him being a Tom Brady, but you don't see him being an Andrew Luck.
And I think that's where it's a Cincinnati thing. I think the weight of, look, and he's got to own some of this too because of his availability, and I'm sure he knows that. He hasn't been there all the time the way that he would want, they would want, and the fan base would want. But it's also a franchise that we've been talking about for decades now that hasn't really done things, I guess, the right way financially, the way a lot of people would want them to, especially if you're a fan to maybe go all in more times than not. They've been pinching pennies, and you have the Carson Palmer era, and you have all of that stuff, right? That is their history, and they can't shake that. And you just have to hope that this guy doesn't look at that and look at what he's gone through, and he's not the next in line to say, you know what, Shefty, Rappaport, whoever it is, throw the tweet out, I want to get out of Cincinnati. That's just the nightmare scenario that I think week by week, year by year now that continues to go by. I'm starting to wrap my mind around that becoming more realistic because these type of comments from people like that, to me, aren't nothing.
You see Carson Palmer here, part 2. Right? Like, it got that.
Does it not feel that way to you?
I mean, Carson played 7 more years after he left Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Joe would do that. But I also want to put, so there's 2 parts here. One, real quickly, I don't blame him. Like, I'm not going to blame him. If they can't get him if you don't start running a respectable business on defense, then I don't blame him. The other part is him. He's got to stay healthy. Mm-hmm. He's got to do his part. And I'm not saying that this is through no fault of his own. It's not like he's maybe just bad luck.
Correct.
But he knows this is a results business, and he's the biggest part of it. And he's got to stay healthy. So it's a combo, and this year's going to be that year for him to stay healthy, see what improvements they make defensively, see if this coach lasts, and if not, maybe they get him a guy that feels like they can take it to another level. It's a very important season.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to come back. Pressure cooker up next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We're the girthiest girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
It's Timmy Hall and Common Man for Hollywood Casino Columbus, and all month long, there's so much money to win.
You can win $1 million instantly, plus every week there's multiple ways to score big Penn Cash prizes.
And new members who sign up for the Penn Play app can win up to $2,026 in Penn Cash.
And you see the brunch items they still have at the
I
Sportsbook
seen 'em.
restaurant? Biscoff stuffed French toast, country Benedict.
Plus, on March 6th, we got Muay Thai and Championship Boxing tickets available on Ticketmaster.
Oh, Muay Thai.
Muay Thai.
Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
At Babs R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement. As the Midwest's fastest growing 5-star bathroom remodeler, we're more than just transformations. We're a community driven by a mission to bring your dreams to life. Our installation team, part of the Babs R Us community, isn't just skilled. They're dedicated to respecting your home. Each day, they bring craftsmanship and hustle, turning your dream space, no matter the size, into reality. Together, we embrace a culture that values diversity, collaboration, and giving back. From supporting local projects to fostering a workplace where every voice is valued, Babs R Us is more than a company. It's a community of experts. We're also expanding locations to create more possibilities for homeowners across the Midwest. Wherever you are, you'll find us ready to turn your dreams into something you can see, feel, and enjoy every day. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BAB to schedule your free estimate, or go to babsrus.com. Babs R Us, where dreams soak in.
It's truck season at Germain Toyota, and the deals are about as tough as the trucks. Get into a new 2026 Toyota Tundra with $299% financing for up to 72 months, plus $1,000 in Toyota Financial Services finance cash, or lease a 2026 Tacoma SR5 for just $289 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year, and $36.99 due at signing. Power, reliability, and offers that work as hard as you do. Visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or check them out online at germaintoyota.net.
Remember what sunshine feels like? Windows open, birds chirping, everything looking fresh and new. Spring is closer than you think, and so are those home projects on your to-do list. Maybe winter left its mark, a small leak that's getting bigger, shingles that didn't survive the snowstorms, or siding that's clearly seen better days. Whatever your home is facing, our team of professionals at Newman Roofing are here to help. For more than 34 years, Newman Roofing has been helping homeowners protect what matters most. From your first phone call, you'll notice the difference. Passionate and committed people who care about doing the job right. And with over 1,000 5-star Google reviews, you don't have to take our word for it. If your roof, siding, or gutters need attention, call the family company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof this spring, get a Newman roof.
Do you have an oak tree in your yard? The Ohio Chapter International Society of Arboriculture is committed to advancing responsible tree care practices while preventing a fungal disease called oak wilt. They remind those who own and manage oak trees the best time to prune is November to early March. To find out more, there are over 1,000 qualified tree experts in Ohio. To find an ISA-certified arborist in your area, visit treesforohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
February is Children's Dental Health Month, so make sure you make an appointment for your child to visit an Ohio Dental Association member dentist. ODA member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and have access to superior ongoing education and training. On your next visit, ask if your child's dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
Common Man and Timmy.
We are bums. We are bums. I'm wearing a quarter zip today, and people are saying, "Oh, you got a job interview?" No, I'm doing TV with Dom.
Common Man and Timmy, afternoons on the Fan. It's sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see partly sunny skies gradually becoming more and more sunny throughout the day. Breezy winds will help boost temperatures into the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. And then for tonight, mostly clear with overnight lows in the upper 30s. For Saturday, the mostly sunny skies continue with spring-like weather, with highs getting into the mid to upper 50s. So get outside and enjoy it. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
question from a listener? Do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Rothman and Ice present Under Pressure.
Sponsored by 3D Cabinetry. 3dcabinetry.net, where quality meets affordability.
All right, Ice, here we go. I'm going to start the combine, if that's good with you. How about a former Mr. Football from Ohio, kid from Medina, 21 years old.
Okay.
Turned 22 on March 8th.
I like this call.
You already know.
Yeah, I think I know who this is. Man, that's been out of sight, out of mind for a little bit.
Yeah, because he missed the second half of his senior year.
I like this.
Got plenty of game film for NFL evaluators. And considering he made 35 starts, his throwing session at the combine, I don't think is going to be a massive change of minds for the NFL front offices, but it might confirm some things because people want to see if the 6'5", 235-pounder, prototypical NFL quarterback Drew Aller, who was limited to 6 games in his final year, how big is that arm? And we get that big arm to match that 5-cent head of his. I'm kidding. He's the type of quarterback, though, who I think could thrive there in the combine and show out a little bit. Now, is he QB3 behind Fernando and Ty Simpson? We'll find out. And he was viewed as a first-round pick before the season, and the combine quarterbacks are scheduled to work out tomorrow. And he had surgery, repair his ankle a few days after that Penn State NU game. Finished his Penn State career with 61 career touchdown passes. And I agree with you. It's a little bit of out of sight, out of mind, and he can get back into people's minds by showing well there, combining that with a nice pro day. And Drew Aller could, from a trait standpoint, find his way into a fairly decent draft pick. But I think the pressure really starts tomorrow.
I'm here for it, man. I think that's a really good call because, man, if he would have stayed healthy, I think we would be talking about him potentially as the quarterback, too, because of the traits that you're talking about. And a lot of times it's you got to have productivity clearly, but your potential is really what could have a team really buy in on you. Excuse me, I'm starting in the NBA. Big one up in Detroit tonight. Huge game in the Eastern Conference. The Cavs are going into Detroit, going to walk down 8 Mile, listen to some Eminem to get their mind right before they enter Little Caesars Arena. And this is one of those things to where it's a regular season matchup, but it's one of those, hey, we want to let you know what we're about if we see each other in the playoffs down the road. The Detroit Pistons have kind of taken on this MO of being the bully now in the East. They had the big brawl in Charlotte. They were getting after Wemby and the Spurs the other day. Cade Cunningham is an MVP candidate. Jalen Duren is an absolute dog, and he's built like the mountain from Game of Thrones. But they're going to try to bully the Cavs, as they do against all their opponents. Their head coach is the former head coach of the Cavs and JB Bickerstaff. They're a tough squad to go up against. They're going to foul the heck out of you. They're 4th in the NBA in fouls, and they're number 1 in the NBA in points allowed. I'm sorry, number 4 in points allowed. So this is just a test they are to see how tough the Cavs are, because whether they like it or not, what happened in that Knicks series a couple years ago has stuck with them, because this is the same core that we watch now, obviously without Darius Garland. Now they've added James Harden. And so I can't wait to watch this game. 7 o'clock on ESPN. The whole world will be watching, but this is one of those tests to where you have the 1 seed in the East in Detroit taking on the 4-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers. James Harden's got this weird hand thing going on, but apparently he's going to play. But this is a test of toughness tonight up there on 8 Mile. So I'm going Cavs and putting them on the pressure list. They got to answer the call because the Pistons are going to try to push them around.
Yeah, I like that. I'll go to the ice and I'll just spin the wheel of teams that have some urgency. And I'm going to land on the Florida Panthers, the back-to-back champs. Like, the question is, do they have enough to make a late run to the playoffs, or is this it? Matthew Tkachuk comes back from the gold for the U.S., has 8 points in 10 games after not making his season debut. I think it was late January. He had a lot of injuries. But he comes back to Florida with all that momentum from the Olympics. He got 6 helpers in 6 games to help the U.S. win gold. Lundell, who won bronze with Finland. Sam Bennett, Sam Reinhart won silver with Canada. These are the back-to-back champs. And how do they rediscover that championship form down the stretch? I'm not going to count them out, not with what they have. They are currently, let me check the standings. The Florida Panthers are 2 back of the Jackets. So clearly they're not at a good spot, 63 points. But I just don't want to count them out. And they won last night. They'll play back-to-back tonight. I think they play Buffalo. I'll check that. And in terms of their metrics I'm looking at, they're top 10 in offensive zone time, 5-on-5 shot attempts percentage, and they've had some long-term injuries. Barkov and Kachuk, I mentioned, both have been out. Barkov probably out for the season. There's a lot of pressure on them. But that's a proud organization, and I feel like I'm going to put a little pressure on them to try to get in the tournament.
Okay. Second candidate for me. You and I were thinking the same way about the NFL Combine because I had a quarterback on my list too, and I'm glad you brought up Drew Aller because I think that's a really good call. But I'm going with Ty Simpson. I'm going Ty Simpson, and I'm putting him on the pressure list because to me this is going to go one of two ways. Either he's going to throw really well and have a good outing and stamp himself as the QB2, or if it's dicey, that's going to open the door for maybe a Drew Aller. Carson Beck came out this morning and said, I'm throwing at the Combine. Remember, like a couple years ago,
he wants to throw.
Yeah,
he wants to throw now. All right.
A couple years ago, the conversation around Carson Beck was, man, this dude could be the 1-1 in the draft. He bounced around, went to Miami, did his thing. And even a guy like Garrett Nussmeier coming into last year had a lot of buzz around his name as well. I don't know if it's as locked in as maybe we think it is when it comes to Ty Simpson really being the guy. So I think this is a really important outing for him. He had the tale of two halves last year. First half of the season was really good. Second half of the year got dicey. Yes, he was injured, but that's part of it. And you look at his lack of protection in the pocket with the ball, did not handle blitzes well, and all that stuff that we're starting to hear about him and the stuff we saw with our own eyes. I just think there's a lot of pressure on him to really lock himself in as the guy, because if he doesn't, and he's not locked in and dotting up footballs the way that he needs to, maybe he will slide down or maybe even out of the first round, and that could create another opportunity for somebody else to step up and maybe grab a hold of that QB2 spot. So I'm going Ty Simpson, AR, putting him on the pressure list over there in Indy.
Very nice. All right, I'll end on the links. The PGA Tour has arrived in the Sunshine State for the Florida Swing. This is the annual migration for the boys. They're in the Palm Beaches. I'm going with Daniel Berger. Who is Daniel Berger? Kind of a home game for the kid. Grew up there. He was a late entry, missed the cut at the Riv. He was an automatic for the power rankings of the PGA National, where he debuted with a playoff loss years ago, like 10 years ago. And if he wasn't a golfer, he'd be a pro tennis player because his dad, Jay, was the number 7 player in the world back in 1990. And he's probably the best player you've really never heard of, because his best results in majors, top 10 at the Masters, top 12 at the PGA, tied for 6th at the U.S. Open, and tied for 8th at the British Open. He opened with a 4-under yesterday. Not so hot today even, which puts him tied for 8th, and it is a home game for him. The reason I'm putting pressure on him is because of that, and he's plus 125 to have a top 10 finish.
Okay.
And somebody may or may not be riding that. So I
think we know
Daniel Berger.
Okay.
Let's see you turn it on this weekend, kid.
Last candidate for me. I'm going with the WWE creative team. AR, there is a pay-per-view happening tomorrow in your hometown of Chicago, Illinois. My favorite PLE of the year is the Elimination Chamber. Triple H, if you're listening.
Chamber of Secrets?
And I know you are. Shout out to Harry Potter. Triple H, if you're listening, don't do it to us. Don't do it to us. We do not need Cody Rhodes winning the Elimination Chamber. I cannot handle it. I don't need another Cody Rhodes main event at WrestleMania in Vegas this year. And so go with anybody else. Go with Trick Williams and his lemon pepper steppers. That would be amazing. But please, not the American Nightmare and Cody Rhodes. So the WWE creative team, you're on the pressure list. Anybody but Cody bleeping Rhodes, please. I'm begging you.
All right. He's begging, folks. A begging strip. We're going to come back in 2 minutes. And grading your workplace. The NFL's dirty secrets are still out there, and we'll let you know who passed and who failed next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If your garage floor has stains, cracks, or even the dreaded bad epoxy job, maybe one you tried to do yourself, maybe one you paid for and it didn't work out, it can make your entire garage look bad. Let's be honest about it.